it's Frank here, and it's time for your first PCVR review. Now today, we're looking at Skyworld from Vertigo Games. You may know that name from everyone's favorite zombie shooter, Arizona Sunshine, but today, they are back with something completely different. Now, full disclosure, I received all hardware and software from HTC and Vertigo Games respectively, but do not think that that affects my opinion or views on this title whatsoever. Now, with all that out of the way, let's take a look. Minimum specs. Alright, so first off, at minimum, you'll need to be running Windows 7 SP1 or newer, have an i5-4590 equivalent or greater, at least 8 GB of RAM, a GTX 970 equivalent or greater, and be running DirectX version 11 with 5 gigs of free space on your hard drive. Now, that's just minimum. They do recommend an i7 with 980 running on DirectX 12, so if you're running that or better, you should have a great time. Visuals. Okay, so I'm a console guy and making the leap over to PC gaming, I knew that the graphical upgrade would be wonderful. That being said, Skyworld is nothing mind-blowing. The colors pop and the world looks nice, but it's nothing I would ever really rant and rave about. Now, all that being said, they did a fantastic job, and compared to Arizona Sunshine, everything is much smoother and the colors are far richer. But with the abundant number of simple polygon VR games out there, it takes a bit more to leave a lasting memory in the visuals department for me. Audio. Now, audio-wise, I think they did a wonderful job, but I truly think audio is very underappreciated in VR. Some players get it and understand that solid spatial audio does wonders for immersion, and other players could really care less. They more just notice it when it's not there. Skyworld does a great job at putting you in the action and making you feel like everything is unfolding around you. You hear your troops as they march off in a battle, fireballs as they whiz past your head, and a constant churning of the game's gears, reminding you the table is also alive. I really did enjoy the audio, and other than adjusting the music volume, the presets were pretty solid. Gameplay. Now, what you've all been waiting for. First off, I played this on the HTC Vive, but it is also available for the Oculus Rift. You need motion controllers to play, and gameplay has been crafted for standing, seated, and room scale. To top it all off, you can play single player, multiplayer, and cross-platform. Okay, so Skyworld is a bit of a mutt when it comes to what genre you assign it to. It's part card game, part tower defense, part turn-by-turn, and part real-time strategy. See what I mean by mutt? Luckily, Vertigo Games does a great job melding the various genres into one cohesive and fun game to play, if you can get past the learning curve. The campaign is broken up into 8 missions that take place on 8 maps in 3 different worlds. You start on one side of the map and must fight evil demons for control of the entire map. Now, that is the end goal, and getting there is no simple task. Between building sawmills, assigning workers, making sure they're happy with your taxes, and upgrading structures, you'll find out pretty quickly that Skyworld has a lot going on. After each round, you collect the fruits of your workers' labors after advancing your captain further into enemy territory. When you finally reach the enemy captain, a battle begins. Battles in Skyworld are more like a card game than anything else. While still in your turn, you have the option to visit your laboratory and upgrade and pick your deck of cards. This deck of cards will serve as your troops, knights, or special attacks when waging war against your opponent. Each card takes a certain amount of mana to play, and it's fun to throw them out and watch the little soldiers move across the map. I do wish you had a bit more control over them. Your only real input is their initial direction, and after that, it's pretty much up to the AI. Once your soldiers have made it across the map and you've destroyed your opponent's castle, the match is over. And if your opponent is out of room to retreat on the main map, you've just won the game. What's cool is the entire game takes place on a table in front of you that spins to reveal new areas. Also, while still in your turn, jumping from your main map to your throne room or laboratory is done with a fun little lever that turns the whole table. I also like the ability to spawn each different menu and place them in the world as I saw fit. And once I knew where everything was, and more importantly what it was, it made gameplay much smoother and more enjoyable. Now, on top of the single player levels, there's also a multiplayer mode, and this is where the game truly shines. You really do feel like you're playing someone in an awesome VR board game. Just get ready for some long match times. If both players are truly invested, you could be looking at game times of upwards of an hour, which for some is wonderful, but if you're like me, it's hard to find a few hours to dedicate to something like that, so I spent the bulk of my time in single player.
issues. Now, other than bumping me into the Steam plane during some loads, I really had no actual gameplay issues. I think the big issue with this game, and I'm sure most of you have guessed it already, is that there's just so much going on. Sure, you can say, well, it's for hardcore gamers that want that deep level of gameplay, but the game is presented in such a fun manner that the core mechanics seem to create a level of stress that distracts from how much enjoyment you truly could be having. Now, once I knew what was going on and spent a little more time with each individual piece of the puzzle, it wasn't too bad, but I don't think you can expect everyone to be as patient as me, and I think the initial learning curve will turn some players away and cause others to ask for a refund, which is a shame because they really do have something awesome. Comfort. I don't think anyone's going to have a problem playing this game. You turn the board by grabbing it and rotating it, and nothing in the world really moves around you or gives you that moving in place feeling. So, if you're one of the nauseous ones, Skyworld will treat you just fine. Value. Now, if you grab this one before October 31st, you got a 25% discount, dropping the full price from $39.99 down to $29.99, which in my opinion is a pretty good deal. I mean, tons of single-player content and a cross-platform multiplayer mode, which both actually work quite well. I mean, sure, it's a little bit on the pricier side, but if this is your kind of game, I promise you it will be money well spent. This is not a tech demo. Vertigo Games have lovingly given us another full VR release. Verdict. Sure, the graphics might be a little childish, but underneath this mechanical theater of entertainment lays a sleeping giant of a game just waiting for an eager player willing to learn its ins and outs. It may not be for everyone, but for those of you dedicated enough to conquer the mechanics of Skyworld, your time will be well worth it.
Alright, so what you think? You're gonna grab it, you grabbed it already, and you're just gonna say forget about it? Let me know in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, if you want to stay up to date on everything VR and you don't mind this ugly mug, friggin' subscribe. I mean, come on. Smooches.